guys, welcome to TechBridge with Rookie. So here we basically bring guests, experienced tech professionals to share their journey with us. And with me today are two DevOps engineers that I've worked with various international companies. So they're experienced and they're professionals, if I say so myself. Benjamin and Aki, thank you for joining us today.
Okay.
We'll start with you guys introducing yourselves. Aki.
Okay.
What do you do? How long have you been in the tech space? Just a brief introduction.
Okay. Good afternoon or good day, everyone. Depending on where you're watching this and what time you're watching this. So my name is Akinwumi Olafosi. Okay, native of Ondo State, Nigeria. Okay. So I'll say I've been in the tech space for like 6 years now. But when I want to say tech, I want to believe everything I've done is actually tech related. When I say tech related, it does not mean it has to do with coding or anything, but I'll break that down as time goes by. So yeah, I've been there for like 6 years. Okay, so and my journey started from me trying to understand what Linux is all about. Okay, trying to understand computer. I'll say that's where my journey started from. So my background it's not tech related really, because I studied zoology. Okay, zoology in the university, Obafemi Awolowo University. If you are conversant with the Nigerian university space, it's the Obama University, like the best university in Nigeria. Come on. So, so I studied zoology. So it's not really tech, tech like that. It's a majorly biological science course. So I did that, and after school, I found myself doing so many things like NYSC. You get to teach. Some people didn't teach, but myself, that's what I found myself doing. I taught biology. Okay, and then from there, after NYC, what to do. There are so many things to do, and there are little things to do. Let me just put it that way. So I started teaching. Okay, started teaching. So while I was teaching, so someone introduced me to Fiverr. I don't know. So many people know about it. So
Yeah.
Fiverr is more or less like a freelance platform, so where you can render various services. So the person introduced me to Fiverr and Upwork. So I'm like, oh, cool. Then there I can do some stuff. I was like, so what will I do on these platforms? I don't have any skill. So what will I offer? The person was like, anything, just check. You can do anything. So I checked through and okay, you can start writing. And okay, I'm a little bit inclined into writing, so I started writing some stuff.
Mhm.
I got some clients in some writing gigs, but the pay was not good. I won't lie to you.
So I mean, sorry, this is technical writing, right? Wait, or just
No,
write.
no, no, not technical writing, just writing stuff. So I was doing that, but the pay wasn't good. So I had to find out like, okay, what else can I do that's gonna bring in some like that will have some specialty to me. Then person suggested maybe I could do video editing. I'm like, oh, cool, video editing. What do I use to start video editing? I don't know anything in the video editing space. Then the person told me that there's a particular software called Camtasia, and I can start with that. It's quite basic. I'm like, oh, cool. I got myself like a medium system, then learned Camtasia a little bit. Then I started video editing. I started doing that for a while, and then before you know it, it was cool. The catch was good, like in a month I could make like $2,000 in a month, and it was quite cool.
Nigeria, back Nigeria.
I was in Nigeria then. Yeah, I was doing that for a while. Then at some point I realized so many people are coming into this space, into this freelance space. Then COVID happened, like all these things. Like, so how will I be able to put all this together? So mind you, before doing all of that video editing or anything, I was already having this I was already tilting towards tech stuff. Okay, and I've already seen people doing Linux because I like to explore. I explore a lot. So I'm already like tilting towards, okay, is this video editing what I really want to do, for a very long time now. So many people are coming into this space, and if you know video editing very well, if you are not very specialized, like you'll be able to use After Effects to do all those crazy VFX stuff, you'll be able to make so much money, okay, from it. So I was already learning some form of Linux, learning, understanding Linux, doing Linux admin. Even at some point I added a little bit of Linux freelance. on my profile on Upwork, like just doing that a little bit, bringing in some cash for me at some point. So I was doing that, but I realized I really need to do something better. Okay, so then I got exposed to AWS. Okay, so when I
Okay.
got exposed to AWS, there was this boot camp. I was I was there, learned. So I became like an intern. Okay, AWS. So I got to understand everything in AWS, and before you know it, I was doing not so bad with it. Then the transition happened again to DevOps, and I'll say like just briefly, like of what I've done so far. So and from there an offer came and we are here and I'll say
Outside Nigeria. So the offer moved you out of
out
Nigeria.
of Nigeria, yeah. So yeah, I was privileged to work with a company back in Nigeria as a DevOps engineer.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so I'll say as we continue in the discussion, I'll still go into details of that, how that came
Yeah,
about.
yes, we'll get there. We
I
get
just
there.
like a
We'll
summary
get
of
there.
so and now we are here in Portugal and now thank God. So
Oh, nice,
uh,
nice. Interesting. From zoology to DevOps engineer.
yeah, thank you.
DevOps engineering, sorry. Okay, so Benjamin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to do a shout out to Aki. Great.
Great.
That's
I know Aki might not know I'm actually from, I graduated from Ife too. So,
Oh, that's
okay.
amazing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
So, my name is Benjamin. I'm Benjamin Abegood. I'm from your state. Actually, I graduated from Ife. I graduated from electronics and electrical engineering. Um, I, my experience so far, I think I spent about 10 years, a decade in the in the tech industry,
Good.
but really
Good, good.
professionally might be around maybe 7 years. Yeah, working
Okay.
because before my NYC, I worked with a network servicing company and network support engineer. So that's the first time I think I was hearing of something called DevOps, but wasn't really DevOps. It was like maybe cloud networking at that time. I was talking about cloud networking in the space. So I was as a network support engineer. I was doing some troubleshooting then, and then at one point I felt like we could automate certain processes or could automate some of the steps that we engage to troubleshoot. So then that's how I found I knew I got to know about Bash.
Mhm.
And okay, wow, okay, we could some like you could actually automate. It was something special, and then that introduced me to programming. And then I moved into programming to software engineering, where I left whatever I was doing with networking. Then I did software engineering to maybe last year or last 2 years or so, and then now
I know you're in DevOps now, so yeah.
yeah, now in DevOps.
And
So that's been my journey. It's been for me. It's been there was a time I also while I was doing software engineering, I left the country to I was in Italy, did some things in research, machine learning, and then went back to Nigeria and went worked for a company and I had extensive software engineering experience. Then in 2023, like Akinto was saying, there was this offer that actually relocated me again to Portugal, and now I'm working with a company that I have to do DevOps. So I came into DevOps by accident, I'll say, because I was supposed to. Maybe we will talk about that later.
yeah, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes,
for
yes.
now,
Awesome. Okay, so let me just, talk about this channel and why we do what we do. So TechBridge with Rookie came about because I also transitioned. So I have a chemical engineering background. I studied chemical engineering, but knew I needed to. At the point I was stuck with work, I was stuck in my 9 to 5, and I knew it was time to transition into a rewarding career. And I also just heard about DevOps, and I also did a boot camp. I learned boot camp, self learning, training, and it's funny because I just had my baby around the period I started this
wow.
transition, and my baby was 5 months, but I think I know I put all the efforts, like I put all the work into it, and months down the line, I got two remote offers I was in Nigeria then, two remote jobs. Um, Also, like months down, I got another offer that relocated my family and I. So I just thought I should start a channel where people know this thing is possible. These things are possible. People have gone through it, is doable, and we basically share our journey, our experience as DevOps engineers, our challenges, and our advice to aspiring DevOps engineers or aspiring tech professionals, but especially specifically DevOps engineers. So that's the reason we're here. So I know you guys, for you, Benjamin, you said you became a DevOps engineer like on the job. So it was by accident. The job
Yeah.
required you to do DevOps. But for Akin, that went from zoology to DevOps. So why did you choose DevOps? Why not cybersecurity? Why not data analytics? Why DevOps?
Okay. So, while I was doing video editing, okay, and I saw that, okay, there's an influx of people into that space. Okay. I was like, okay, so if there are so many people in this space now and on the freelance platform, and anybody can just do anything. Okay, so what is video editing? You can just take your system now and just be able to put one or two things together and add some effect, and you'll be able to, except you want to go much more advanced.
Mm-hmm.
So I my intention was to look for something that it will be hard for everybody to learn.
Hmm.
Look for something that you can't learn just like that. You can't
Hmm.
just stand up one day and say, yeah,
Except you're ready to put in the work. I mean, when you
yes,
say anybody can actually become a
anybody
DevOps
can learn.
engineer, but you
Yes,
just need to be determined,
thank
and
you.
because it's really rewarding. So
It is, it
Yeah.
is.
It
Yeah,
is.
so that's the word. Like, it's not something you can just wake up one day and say, okay, yeah, I want to do this. You have to put that
exactly, you need to
extra
dedicate
work.
time.
Like, you need to take your
Awesome.
time. But video editing, you can just go and watch one or two YouTube videos and you'll be able to know what you want to do. And okay, okay, this is how to use Camtasia, or this is how to use After Effects to get this particular effect you're looking for. But in DevOps, you can't just say, okay, yeah, there are a lot of YouTube videos out there that you can use. But you can just, okay, you want to deploy a Kubernetes cluster, production grade Kubernetes cluster, and you feel that watching a video, YouTube video is actually going to get you a production grade Kubernetes cluster. It's a lie. It won't work. You have to be in the field. You have to understand what you're doing before you be able to do that. Okay. So like all those things, like, okay, let me look for something that it won't be that, not that it's not easy, but you have to put a whole lot of work. Like it will take a whole lot from you to do that. So like, okay, what should I do? Then I was already doing some things with AWS, just like I said initially, solutions architect, understanding the cloud space. So, okay, I was doing the AWS, and so the guy that it's actually a boot camp. So the guy that was taking us the AWS was like, if you really want to take this a step further, like it's DevOps. If you want to take it a step further, so what's DevOps? So like, okay, you'll be you'll be building pipelines, you'll be automating stuff, writing scripts, using code, and all of that. I was like, but this thing, so many people want to actually run away from coding. They want to be in the tech space, but they don't want to code. So it was like, you not that you'll be doing a lot of coding, but you'll be doing a little bit of coding while at it. So it was like, and I asked him like, okay, so does it mean people don't actually flood the space like that? So it's not that there are not so many people doing it. A lot of people want to go into it, but it takes a whole lot to do it. So I said, okay, maybe that's what I'll do. Like apart from just understanding the cloud, understanding AWS, anybody can understand AWS, can understand the services. You can go onto AWS today. You can use the GUI, which is the graphical user interface, to deploy your resources and all of that. But you take a DevOps engineer to automate those processes for you.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
using your Terraform, using all those tools for you to make sure everything is If you take a DevOps engineer, which is like a step further, okay, like okay, I think that's what I want to do. It's gonna take a lot from me, but I think that's what I want to do. I think
Hmm.
I would like to do that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
after the boot camp, then I started looking for ways to transition into DevOps, understanding DevOps, and you know, and everything that goes after it. Yeah, so that's it.
Awesome. 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 So would you say there were challenges during the transition?
Ah,
Um, that
my sister.
laughter.
There were-
That's it. Serious challenges. What would you say the challenges were?
okay, so let me start the challenges from. the AWS. Okay, I could remember like my first two classes when I started the AWS, when I transitioned into learning AWS. So that day we were on a like a Zoom call, so where the instructor was explaining something to us. So there were other people that were already in the class before me, so they know what the guy was actually saying.
Okay.
The instructor name is funny enough. The guy is we are bearing the same name. His name
Mm.
is Akin Aregbeshola. Very
Yeah,
cool guy.
okay.
I
So
think I've heard. I think I've heard. Is it US or Canada
he's
also?
in US. He's in
Yeah,
US.
I
Aregbeshola is in US.
yeah.
He's quite
Okay.
popular. So when he was explaining it, he was explaining. So I was a little bit frustrated with me, like because it was explaining those people who were chipping in. Oh, this is how you do it. Oh, you want to deploy into your instance. Oh, have you checked your security group? Have you checked your
I'm
NACO?
sure we're saying what's
What,
this?
what are these people
What are
talking
these
about,
things?
really? So I didn't forget. I forgot that I was not on mute. I thought I already muted, so I was just ranting. Like, come on. Would they not even allow the man to even explain what he's explaining? Can you I was just ranting. At the point, everyone was just quiet. Nobody was talking. I was the only one talking. Actually, they were hearing me.
As that happens a lot.
Everyone was not like, I can calm down, calm down. You
Mm-hmm.
understand these things. It's just time.
Time, yeah.
Just give yourself time to assimilate all these things. Yeah, very soon, like in few weeks, you two you'll be able to be part of this conversation. It won't be hard for you to be part of this conversation. The instructor, Mr. Akin, was like, Akin, don't worry, calm down.
My
You
namesake. Calm down.
calm down. You will understand. Just calm down. Just you are not understanding what we are saying right now, but just calm down and have an open mind. Don't have a closed mind that oh, this is something that is so hard for you, won't be able to understand. I was like, okay, sir, okay, okay. And that was the challenge because at the beginning it was crazy. It was really crazy. It's not my space. So I like so trying to understand all those things, all those jargon. It took a whole lot from me. Then and another challenge that so when I was now transitioning into DevOps itself, like there are so many classes out there and there are so many resources out there. So now to be able to pick one that would say, oh, this is the person that will actually teach me this and understand it, it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the challenges. There are so many tutorials. If you go to YouTube, oh, DevOps class, DevOps this, DevOps.
Um, just talking about that, there's a guide I've put together. It basically shows a good roadmap for
Okay,
DevOps. So it's like a building block. You know where to start from, and
okay,
it goes from there. So it's fluid. Your journey is fluid. You know what you. I mean, one thing I've noticed about new DevOps engineers that sometimes they know the tools, but they don't understand the concept. They don't know the whys they are doing these things. So why am
okay,
I using this? Why am I using that? So
exactly.
the guide and the roadmap just basically tells you the why and tells you that I mean not everybody can afford boot camps. Let's be honest, they are
Yeah,
very good, but not everybody will be able to afford them because
of
sometimes they
course.
can be pricey. So the guide I mean that I've put together is to show you where you can get free resources that are beginner friendly but also very detailed that would get you job ready within
Yeah.
months. But that's if you're ready to put in the work.
Yeah.
That's
So boot camps are efficient, to be honest. You did a
yeah,
boot camp, Aki. I also did a
of
boot
course,
camp.
of course, of course.
But you can also learn with free resources. You just need to, so you don't get confused checking which one.
Exactly,
Just
exactly,
need to
exactly.
know a solid roadmap, a good roadmap, and the journey will be beautiful. Thank you so much, Akin, for your story, the challenges, and all of that. Benjamin, I mean, you're in DevOps. You're a software. Were you full stack, front end, back end,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. I was back end actually.
back end? Would you say you prefer DevOps to back end? And I know a lot of developers are actually their transition. All of them are running to DevOps now. Why do you think they're doing that? Do they think the pay is more, or what's? Why do you think that's happening?
Yeah. Uh, I think it's different for different people to be honest. But one thing I know that I found that is common is that DevOps seems to be kind of I don't want to say like maybe straightforward,
Yeah.
not just straightforward. It's it gives you some flexibility and space for your work. For example, uh, especially if you're from the back end, you have to work with the front end. You have to um, test your applications. And if you compare your like the task to what you do with DevOps, you find out that maybe you actually have more time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you actually have more time to yourself than writing. On the surface, when you look at writing maybe backend or writing application on the application layer, you would think it's something easy, but you are interacting more. You need the business knowledge. Uh, you have to work with the product team, and and that's a lot. That's a lot of things. And even some of the DevOps work, you still have to do some DevOps works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True.
So it's like you are being used, or let me say you are giving more value in thinking in terms of your time and your energy. You're maybe not getting as much value now, maybe because of what the market also looks like. You're not getting as much value from
For your time.
provide exactly for time as much as maybe that could also be a reason why guys are moving into. But if you value like something like um I think infrastructure looks good. I don't know if you see the way infrastructure is, you see the way your services are running. You want to move into it, and
Mhm.
the thing is, by the time you start working in that area, you might forget even writing code. Like okay, I don't anymore. Yeah,
Mhm.
so for me, what why do I like it and why am I still in it? It's because for the first time I saw the beauty in creating my infrastructure myself, my infrastructure services myself with Terraform. I saw I could. I remember there was one day in the office I was trying to. It was a new cluster. I was trying to create some resources, and I did some things, and then there was some problem along the line. And the other guy was telling me, just destroy it, just use Terraform, destroy. And I was like, why will a command, a single command?
Command, exactly.
Bro, I said, this is too powerful of a tool to be used by a professional. Like, why will a single command actually destroy the whole resource? Like, I saw that like you create, the thing with an engineer is software engineer is like you like the fact that you could create things, create objects, to create application. You want to create something, and that's one thing that you find with tools like also Terraform. You could create your stuff, you could bring down, you could short, you could. I remember the days when I said it's been a while. I remember the days when you have to maybe start your virtual machine yourself,
Mm.
install Nginx, install Wi-Fi server for Java application developers who will be familiar with that. I have to put all those things. If you look at what that takes now, like I do that in a matter of a sprint with with services. Like imagine doing that in a in a microservice environment, having like about six services running that and still adding monitoring and observability to that. You could do that in a sprint right now. Before you can't,
It could take you months.
so you could create faster, you could create even maybe cheaper,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah. So I think that if you look at those factors, I think you want to. There's no one way any backend engineer or any software engineer would not want
Would
to.
not want
But
to.
it depends. Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
depends on
personal, yeah, choices. Yeah, awesome. Sure. I mean, we've been saying DevOps, 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 but some people don't even know. Some people have not heard of what DevOps is. They've not heard of DevOps before. So, how would you explain DevOps to someone with zero tech experience, to someone who hasn't even heard the word before? Let's break it down. What is this DevOps we're talking about? Akin.
Okay. So breaking it down, like okay, if you say for someone that is not in the tech space,
Yeah.
okay. So I'll just say, you know, there are some people, okay, before the way things were done, okay, there are some people that write. I'm sure everybody is kind of one way familiar with the people that write codes,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yes, a
that
lot of
just write the
they know
code.
Python. They know.
At least Python, Java, and all of that. At least, okay, for if you're watching this video, if anybody is watching this video at all, so it's someone that's already interested in going into tech. That's why they're watching this video at all. Okay. So some people write the codes, okay, and when they write the code, sometimes it take months for the business part of things to have planning and all of that to make sure okay, oh, this code gets to production. And sometimes when it gets to production, they'll be catching errors in production. Okay, then take it back to the developer, then start troubleshooting. So like it takes a whole lot of time. So they call that waterfall form of production. That's what it was before. So it always sometimes projects can take like a month before it comes out. It takes sometimes even it depends on the magnitude of the project. It could take years sometimes, and that does not mean there will be high quality in the product that is being launched into the market. Okay, so that happened for a while. So then at some point, um, there was this concept, okay, I'll say concept or methodology of doing things, okay, where the you can actually release the product, okay, but there will now be this increment iteration of the product that you are releasing, okay, which is where DevOps people comes in. So DevOps people will give you like the ability to be able to iterate whatever product you have in the market. You'll
Yeah.
be able to iterate it on the go incrementally, okay, and they'll be able to okay any error or any issue that you have on the fly, the DevOps people will be able to automate the how will I say it now? The responses that you are getting from the let's say the customer or from the end product
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
as
mm-hmm,
fast as possible and with very high quality. Okay. Okay,
mm-hmm.
for example, now you want to deploy a particular or you want to launch a particular e-commerce website. Okay. So before the e-commerce website is ready, your developers will write the code. So when they write the code, then they will need to deploy this code. Okay,
You need
to
to put that code somewhere because it has to
yeah,
run
yeah,
some.
Yeah.
exactly. They need to make it to run somewhere then to production. So the DevOps people, like with the name implies, developers and operations. So the DevOps person is the one in between the dev team and the operations team. Okay. So when they are in the middle, so they'll make sure everything is automated from the beginning to the end. So when it's automated from the beginning to the end, any error you get or any issue you have before it goes to production, the DevOps people will be able to catch that error and get it back to the developers team and they'll be able to iterate all these things on the go and as fast as possible. And whatever product you're getting into the market will be of high quality.
Yeah.
Okay, because the DevOps personnel would have put some tools in place to catch the error or to make sure there's quality in your code and all of that. Okay, so
Mhm.
that is, I would say that's just like the summary of
Yeah,
what DevOps people.
yeah. Very, very
And
good summary, I would say.
yeah,
Very
and for
good.
me, oh, to the best of my knowledge, I would say DevOps is not actually a role. It's like a methodology. It's a way of doing things.
Yeah,
It's a practice.
yeah.
Okay. So
It's a
sometimes
mindset.
Mindset. It's a
yeah,
mindset.
of the mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I
yeah.
know that I call myself a practitioner, DevOps practitioner, not DevOps engineer and all of that because it's a
Mhm.
way of doing things. Anybody could become a for example, if you look at Benjamin, he was a developer, but he's not a DevOps person
Yeah,
because he's applying that mindset into what
mhm.
he's doing. So
Doing.
that's what
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So that's
Awesome.
what
Yeah. Awesome. So let's say, what advice would you give to people that are watching this and they aspire to be DevOps engineers like yourselves? What tip, what advice can you give to them, Benjamin?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is to calm. There's always pressure when you're learning, you're starting. Let's find do everything that you can do, everything you can do to make sure that you reduce the pressure because what you're trying to do is to understand. Learning is about understanding, and well, first thing I would say is for those who haven't had a tech experience before,
Mhm.
I would recommend bootcamp, like you guys have mentioned. I because the thing is, it's good where you have a structured learning. You watch video today from a channel, and nowadays you could even find a lot of videos that are actually contradicting. So you watch this one, and then you think you know, but you don't. Like I was saying the other time. So it's better to forget a structured learning, maybe a bootcamp. That's one. Two is that when you're learning, try to make sure that you're practicing. So if you have a tutorial video or a tutorial page, try as much as possible to also try and do that hands on, because the thing is, tech is much of a hands-on thing. It's not just a knowledge base where you have knowledge in your head. uh, you have to be able to practice it. So those are things I think I can advise. Uh, then apply for jobs. Don't run away from what do you call it again? Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. Yes, yes. That's what is holding a lot of people back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Run away from imposter syndrome. Let me be honest. Apply. Start at you start the process. Maybe you start your learning process. Maybe you've like scheduled a calendar for like 6 months, or I don't know how long it can take you. Start maybe even from the first month. Just start applying. Start going. Maybe the don't let me say first month. Maybe like first 3 or 4 months into the learning phase. Start applying, because you might find people who wants to take you as an intern, and
Mhm.
and that you can learn, because it's easier to learn. What I've found out is it's easier to learn on the job than to actually learn even at a boot camp or at a
Or
or
just
reading.
watching videos and
Let
yeah.
me let me give you a bit of my experience. I mentioned Terraform Destroy. I've but before doing that, I only checked the documentation once, and that's because I'm a developer. A lot of people don't even know there's a documentation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
But I I was learning on the job because I was trying out. I had somebody beside me also who was also helping. Say, okay, no, no, I can ask. Okay, I want to run, I'm having this error. I'm seeing these errors. What do I do? Apart from just checking ChatGPT or Claude or anything, I have somebody who is there on the job.
Yeah,
So
a mentor, just have someone like
just to have someone like a mentorship. So I'll summarize. Get a mentorship. Get a structured learning. First of all, take your mind away from the money. That's something I can also advise. First, take your mind away from the money. Uh,
okay, you're smiling like you don't you don't agree with that.
No, 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 no,
Because
no.
I mean the money can be the motivation.
it can be the motivation. The thing is, when you're skilled, there's something I've found out about being skilled, being good at what you do. When you're very good at what you do, you just get to a point where the you decide in on the table of negotiation, you decide what value you want to get.
Hmm.
You're not at the mercy of the person, especially when it's the employer's market. Right now, for the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, last 2, 3 years, it's been like employer's market. Now the tide is changing now, of course, yeah. But you also need to know that you don't want to be at the mercy of the the opponent at the table. You don't want to be at their mercy. You really want to have your own advantage that uh, you can put on the table and to get much value from the interaction. So what I'm trying to say is, first of all, be very good at what you do. Just stay close.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That should be the first thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Not about the money. True. True.
The mentorship is good. Find mentors around, maybe from your team or from outside team or networks when there are tech events. Uh, Structured learning. I think those are advice I can
Yeah.
give.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
I think I'd like to add to what Benjamin said. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah, sure.
perfectly agree with what he said. Not that I don't agree with what he said. Of course, I do. I'm taking your mind away from money. Yeah, it's okay, but me, I cannot take mind away from money. Money is important.
It is.
I'm just
It
ignoring
is.
it. So
Yeah.
to add to what he said, it's very important to. He mentioned something that is very crucial. Structured learning is very important. It's very important, and in this space, in tech space generally, is you have to get your hands dirty. Like you have to practice. You have to practice because, okay, for example, now you think that that boot camp or what they are teaching you is what you meet when you get to the environment. My dear, it's similar to it, but
Mm-hmm,
it's going
mm-hmm.
to come out in a very different form
Different way.
entirely.
Yeah. That's where the concepts come
Yeah,
from.
so
Understanding.
exactly. So all you have to do when you are in the boot camp is understanding the foundation.
The
Once
foundation.
you are good with the foundation, you can take it further from there. And also mention something that you should find a way to conquer imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very valid and it's very important because I could remember when I started okay, learning, then boot camp. I did a boot camp. Also, that boot camp actually helped me because it's the way they structure the classes. They were like
Yeah.
project based learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
project based. Yeah. You have to do the project, you troubleshoot the errors. If you don't get the required results, that's when you now talk to the instructors. But they will first make you troubleshoot and troubleshoot because it's from that troubleshooting that
You
you
get
now
better.
understand what the errors are. If you don't troubleshoot, you don't get errors, everything is just smooth sailing, you are not doing anything. There must be errors, there must be problem. Okay, so project based learning, it really helped. It always helped a lot. So that imposter syndrome now, I could remember after I did my boot camp. So I met a particular friend. His name is Liman. He's in UK. Good guy, great guy. So he was like, I can, what are we doing now? Do we go for another boot camp or what? I was like, I don't know. So we got, there was this other guy. Is I'll say, I know the guy personally, but he's way ahead of me already in the tech space. He already worked with GT Bank and all of that. So like he knows his onions when it comes to this thing. When it comes to devil. So he now organized like another small boot camp for people. I joined again, myself and the guy. So after that, we are like, bro, let's start applying. You know what? Let's
Exactly.
start applying. We're
Mm-hmm.
like, guy, what do we know in the devils that want to be? He said, guy, pata pata, last. I'm sorry for international audience. Pata pata means last. It's a Nigerian balance thing. So
Exactly.
it was like they would just say they don't want us.
Exactly.
And you
And
learn. You
they would
learn.
just say they
In
don't
every
want us.
process,
Like,
you learn.
like,
Okay, to buttress what you said about practicing, um, I'm in favor of boot camps and all of that. But even if you're trying to learn on your own, maybe with a mentor and all of that, there are
mhm,
playgrounds now that you can
Exactly.
use to
Exactly.
learn. So,
exactly.
because this is also considering people that as cannot afford these boot camps because they're pricey. So, for a recent graduate or an NYC student,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
this considering these people, there are playgrounds where you can learn, where
Yes.
you can put your hands.
And do
The point
something.
is, tech is all about hands-on approach.
Yeah.
So getting the right tools, getting the right resources, be it boot camps, which is actually very effective. It gives you a structured form of learning, or even if it's just tutorials, there are playgrounds for you to play with. So there's no excuse. Anyways, we
Yeah.
get back to that. There's no excuse for you,
That's the truth.
that you think you
You're
can
right. Yeah.
transition into this field.
So,
Also, also,
please, before you move forward, Rookie.
yeah.
So we started
Oh yeah, yeah,
applying.
yeah. Sorry,
We started
sorry.
applying. We're getting some interviews. So what we're now doing something. So we don't really know this thing like that. Or we have some experience from the boot camps, but so during the interviews, when they interview us and maybe we don't do too well on the interviews. So those questions, the question they will ask in interviews is actually related to production environment.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
those questions that we don't know, that we don't understand, we pick them up, then we go and do projects on them.
Okay.
So when we started doing that,
Feedback. Getting
yeah,
feedback. Yeah.
feedback, then using it. And as time went by, like it started coming naturally. Like, oh, we already know this one, we already know how this one. So I think that helps too. When you do your interviews, forget whatever maybe they will give it to you or not. Just take it like that. Whatever feedback you get, go and work on it. Whatever questions you asked during the interviews that you don't understand, go work on it. With that, you'll be building muscles when it comes to all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And also, I also want to add, sorry,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
is is to learn from the start, also to also learn how to read documentation.
It's,
Um,
it's it's a it's a big tip, a big key tip. Yeah.
learn how to read documentations. Yeah, yeah.
Learn also to document your work
And also to
as you
document
work.
your, yeah, as you work.
Yes.
Document your work because um, by the time you are being reviewed, you can also say to for the last 3 months I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I was trying to update my CV at the time, just of recent. And when I was trying to update, I had to go back to my like how what I was documenting to actually update because You may not be able to remember everything. There's
A
some
lot.
single points you need. So it could be that on your CV, it could be that uh, pay review, salary review, and you want to have a salary review with your manager. And the manager said, and you're like, okay, what have you done that
Mhm,
warrants us reviewing your salary? You could
mhm.
bring that up to and say, okay, I've done this, I've done this. So document your work. Also learn how to read technical documentation.
Documentation.
Very, very important.
Very important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So this segment of the show is called This or That. We compare tools, DevOps tools that
Oh,
yeah, and we choose the ones we prefer, or the one you prefer, the ones you prefer, or the ones you think are beginner friendly. So for someone with no experience in DevOps, which ones do you think they should learn first? So these two tools do the same thing, but which one maybe has a better interface, which one is more beginner friendly, stuff like that. So are you guys ready?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's start with um first one, version control, GitHub or GitLab.
Well, for me, I would
Oh,
say I like GitLab actually. I
Mm-hmm.
like GitLab, and why do I like GitLab? Because it has its own CI with it, and the CI is very easy to use. Okay,
GitHub
although
also has its own.
although GitHub still has GitHub
mhm.
Actions that you can use,
Yeah,
and it has all the function that is inbuilt with it. But for myself, I like GitHub.
GitLab.
I like GitLab with GitLab CI. So, and
Mm-hmm.
because also if you're building images in GitLab, you can
Mm.
just store your images on GitLab like that without having to use external repository.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I prefer GitLab.
Benjamin, you?
For me, it's GitHub. Of course, it will be for GitHub. I've used GitLab. I've used both anyways, but for me, it's GitHub.
Mhm,
And GitHub because it's like I think it's widely used,
mhm,
and you have GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions is powerful.
mhm, yeah,
Uh, I, I, the amount of automations you can do with GitHub
yeah.
Actions. What I've done in the last 1 year, with GitHub Actions. Yeah, no, I can see the power.
Mhm,
So for
mhm.
me,
GitHub. Okay.
GitHub.
So let's go to monitoring. Prometheus or Datadog.
Ah,
Have you guys used Datadog or Prometheus? I know Prometheus is quite common. Have you
Yeah.
yes, for me,
experience with Datadog?
yeah. So
Okay.
okay, so for me, I would say this is a secret, anyways. But I would say Prometheus. Yeah,
Mm,
uh, it's open source,
mm,
and
yeah.
Datadog is you have to pay by your nose.
Yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
pricey.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I'll say Prometheus. Yeah, I know it's not beginners friendly.
I think it is actually compared to Datadog. Oh, what do you think?
Yeah, the thing is, Datadog can do a lot for you.
Yeah,
Agent,
well,
you
true,
give
true,
you agents, you
true.
install the
Just put the
agents,
agents,
find the data.
you find the environmental variables and
Yes,
yeah, you
exactly.
have it. Yeah, it makes
Prometheus, you have to start installing yourself.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do
True, true, true.
Okay,
Acting for
so
you?
for me, I would say Prometheus.
Yeah.
Okay, although just like he said, is not. You see, you would think Prometheus. Okay, Prometheus with Grafana.
yeah.
You think it's actually beginner friendly, but
Mm.
it's when you start
It's when
working
you
with it,
start
that's
using
when you
it.
know that Prometheus. It's not.
Yeah, it's not
Because,
so.
okay,
But
for
I think a lot
example,
of us learned with
Prometheus or
Prometheus because,
Prometheus,
as you
yeah,
said, it's open source.
it's open source, so you
Um,
can.
when you think of monitoring, what comes first is Prometheus, to be
Yes,
honest.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
Get
it.
you.
That's like the base. Or
Exactly.
yeah, that's like yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
so,
the
so Prometheus is the winner here.
Prometheus winner.
Winner
So
here.
Datadog, yeah, Datadog can do so many things. It can do your observability end to end with it. But for Prometheus, it's
Exactly.
just that
Logs, traces, it's
everything is
awesome.
in Datadog
Yeah.
and it's based in cloud. So you don't have to really install so many things. Just get your agents into the nodes or into the servers and you're good.
Although
So
you
I'm
could also add it if you could also replace that with add Grafana and add Loki on Grafana.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
have your
Yeah,
test.
Prometheus is complete. That's the complete
yes.
package.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to back with GitHub Actions. Jenkins, sorry, versus GitHub Actions.
GitHub Actions. Throw that Jenkins away.
As in, What do
I
you think I can?
told
Because
you.
I'm about to say my own
I
Jenkins.
trust me.
I learned with Jenkins, but I wish GitHub Actions was there when I
Was
was
the
there.
way you were.
GitHub Actions is.
Actually, where I'm working at the moment,
It's Jenkins.
we're using Jenkins,
I'm
but
sorry. Sorry.
I know.
but
Eh?
I prefer GitHub Actions to Jenkins. Okay,
Yeah.
Jenkins is quite. I don't know why they are still using Jenkins. It's quite archaic to me. Okay, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to pipeline, it's quite. Is it that I use GitLab CI
Or GitHub
or,
Actions. So
or
for
GitHub
for
Actions? So
the
like,
newbies in DevOps, choose if you want to learn, choose to learn with either GitHub Actions or GitLab CI. It will make it the
yes,
journey
Yeah.
like
exactly,
smoother for you. Yeah,
exactly,
I
very
agree
smooth.
with that. These are two different things, but they always compare both of them together. So it's Ansible, which is configuration management, and Terraform. They both do
Oh,
different things, but
okay,
they also can do similar things. You
yes.
agree? So which do you prefer? Which you think is maybe more beginner friendly, or do
Hmm.
you just have to learn both? What do you think?
See, when it comes to this, you have to learn both. You really have to learn Terraform and Ansible because Terraform is more for provisioning your resources and all of that, while Ansible is for your configuration management.
Mhm,
Let's say you've provisioned, for example, an instance on AWS and you want to install some things, you want to configure that resource. Maybe you want to, for example, when Benjamin was talking about installing Nginx and all of that on your server, Ansible will do that for you.
mhm, mhm,
Although Terraform can do that too,
mhm,
using executor and all of
mhm,
that.
mhm. Yeah, yeah,
But it's better not to use Terraform to do that.
yeah, yeah.
It's not optimized to do
For
that.
that, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's better to just learn both of them. At least because if you go into any interview as a beginner today and you tell them you know Terraform and Ansible, they will not ask you, okay, do you use Terraform for to configure your resources? No, they will expect you to always use it to provision your resources, not
Just
to
yeah,
configure them. So
yeah,
like it's better to just learn both of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Together. If you want to compare Ansible to Chef or
Chef,
Puppet,
yeah, yeah,
then it's
yeah,
cool. So that's what
yeah.
I'll say.
Terraform to like cloud formation and all of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And
sure.
and in terms of beginners friendly, just to add to what
What I can say.
is going, yeah. Just to add, I think maybe Ansible is maybe beginner friendly.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, well, yeah. Terraform is actually also very,
It's
very
also
easy
yeah.
to learn. I believe. Of course, there are more things as you go. There are
Of
advanced
course.
features it has, but they are both. I think they are both easy tools that are both beginner friendly. So there are two tools that and concepts that we all. I mean, DevOps engineers need to have. So the last one, GitOps versus the traditional CI/CD. So when I mean GitOps, like Argo CD, Flux, those
Yes,
tools versus just your GitHub Actions, GitLab CI, all those. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of comparison,
I think it helps.
yeah. Okay. What do you think? I can't.
Of course, because when you're using GitOps, it makes your life very easy. It
Uh-huh.
makes your life very
So,
easy because
I think sometimes I think is this thing necessary? Is GitHub
ah,
really necessary? But
is
yeah.
the setup might be complicated at the
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
beginning. It might be complex at the beginning, but what I found out is it makes your life very easy once it's already set up. Once you're able to set it up, you will make a change in your cluster.
Yeah, yeah, plus or whatever.
Argo CD will pick it up for you, pick it up, and it's going to deploy. You change something in your manifest, Argo CD will pick it up for you and deploy. Someone or somewhere went to change something on the GUI or maybe using the CLI to change something on your cluster. Argo CD is going to say that there's a drift already
Mhm.
and
And
change
just
that for
yeah,
you.
it just
So
balances and yeah.
yeah, automatically. So I'll say GitOps.
So GitOps is the winner here.
That's it is.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay. So let's talk about tech bros or tech. There's this misconception that tech bros are boring. Tech bros don't have fun, or people in tech, not just bros, tech bros and ladies. Outside work, what do you guys do for fun? I mean, you've worked and all of that. Let's start with you, Benjamin. How do you?
A lot. We do a lot. I watch Premier League. I watch
Mm.
Champions League. I'm still waiting for my game. I hope I won't be disappointed again today. I'm
As
a,
always.
I'm a United. I'm a Manchester
What
United
team?
fan.
Okay, okay, okay.
Then I played football.
Mm.
Nice, yeah. I play tennis. Uh, yes, and I play game, but the game has been it's been a long time I played games. But tennis, football, yeah, those are things I do for fun. Maybe that's boring. I don't know, but I don't think that. I
No,
also
no,
watch
no.
movies.
It's
Yeah.
not boring. Akin, you?
The only thing
Oh,
I know is
Okay.
that I think that it has made me to be more. Maybe what they were trying to say is it's I've been more maybe introverted
Mm.
along the line. Yeah,
As a result of being a tech.
playing with machine every time. Yeah,
Mhm,
close
mhm.
to computer every time. Yeah, but that's
Mm, mm, mm.
mm,
Akin, what
okay.
about you?
I'll say for me, I don't really do
You
much.
look more like a bubbly. So.
Okay, number one, I don't watch football like that. Okay,
Okay.
but some people I tell them I don't watch football. Like, you're really mixing. But for me, I don't know what they enjoy when they watch football. Is that and sometimes some people will go to the extent of making it look like they own the clubs. I'm going to buy Messi this year.
yeah.
We personalize it. I like.
You're missing. You're missing. That's a feeling. Like I'm buying Messi. That's a feeling.
So I don't watch football, but I play games. I like playing games a lot. Okay, and I like going out. I'm quite adventurous. Okay, I
Mm,
like hanging out with friends.
friends.
Go for bowling. Go for this. Go to clubs sometimes. I like to do that. Not that I know how to dance like that, but at least to be there with my cup in hand and moving my body.
Mm-hmm. Akin has shown us that no, tech boys can be interesting.
Of
Of
course,
course, yeah.
wow.
With all the clubs in Lisbon.
Exactly.
At least
Awesome.
I've been to some. I've been to some and
Mm-hmm.
I've
So
visited them.
although this was, but Aki, you came to watch Portugal game the other time. We met at an event where we watched the Portugal game together.
Yeah, yeah, but that's just like a coincidence. It's not.
It's not something that happens
It's not something that
more
happens all the
A
time.
football fan, honestly.
over that.
So
Nice,
that's just.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an interesting episode. Our first episode, and I think it was a very good one. So that's a wrap, guys. If you're interested in breaking into DevOps, entering DevOps space, please follow this channel. We're going to bring guests like Benjamin and Akin to share their journey with you, share tips, and just let you know that it's doable. They did it, and you can too. So subscribe, and follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and we're on Facebook. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.